A lot of people have an interesting answer to that question about the monarchy and the future of the monarchy and the future of the Commonwealth for that matter too, now that Charles is about to ascend the throne. We've got Fiona Armstrong with us now. She is one of the King's representatives in Scotland. Fiona, thank you so much for your time. So, with respect, what is your job in Scotland, or what is your role in Scotland?
It's not a job, it's a role because it's unpaid.
Yeah.
And I am a Lord Lieutenant, and there are about 100 of us throughout the UK. So, say London has a Lord Lieutenant, Dublin has cities in Scotland have a Lord Lieutenant. I'm a Lord Lieutenant for the town of Dumfries and Dumfriesshire, so I represent about 100,000 people. And my role is to be the link between the palace and the communities. And I am the sort of eyes and ears reporting back to the palace about what goes on in my particular area.
So you also have to woo some support in the face of a rising Republican movement in Scotland, do you?
Well, I don't know if it's a rising Republican movement, but certainly support is not that high in Scotland at the moment. I think it's about 36% that actually support the royal family. But, you know, so many people in Scotland recently have thought that, you know, let's support independence. And I suppose if you want to be an independent country, you don't necessarily want to have a British king staying with you when you are independent. So it's all reflected in that, really.
So I was just saying, I was talking to some of the ladies this afternoon about this question about, can Charles keep the monarchy together? We know he wasn't anywhere near as popular as his mother. Few people could be. But do you think he will have a challenge on his hands there, keeping it as strong as it is?
I think he'll have a very good go. As you say, the Queen was almost irreplaceable, wasn't she? I mean, big shoes to fill. But, you know, he is a remarkable man. If you think of what he's done over the last few decades whilst in waiting to be king, you know, he's mixed with business leaders, he's mixed with charity organisers, he's mixed with communities. He is a real hands-on king now. He can speak to, you know that old saying, if you can walk with kings and still keep the common touch. He definitely is the king, but he has the common touch. And I think his popularity will really start to rise. It's pretty good at the moment. You know, in Scotland, he loves Scotland. He loves it with a passion. He has a home at Birk Hall that belonged to the Queen Mother that he's inherited, and he absolutely adores going there. He bought a place called Dumfries House, which is in Ayrshire. It was a very sort of rather rundown area, a coal mining area. Of course, all the jobs had gone. He's come in, he's renovated the place, he's got the community on his side. It's now the second biggest employer in that area.
Wow.
So, you know, all these things, the Prince's Trust that he started in 1976, he started it with a £7,000 payoff that he got when he left the Royal Navy, and he put that into setting up the Prince's Trust. And he, you know, and since then he's helped 1 million young people, you know, find employment, get training for things.
So just an extension of that question relating to the Commonwealth now, because we know that Jamaica is accelerating plans to leave the Commonwealth. We know that Australia has plans to eventually do the same. Whether that's successful or not, I guess we'll find out in the next few years. But would you expect more nations within the Commonwealth to follow?
I don't know. Tell me about Australia. I mean, you know, there's rumblings there, isn't
well,
there?
There's always rumblings.
Having another referendum.
Well, there is now a minister for the Republic, and it won't be this current term, but they'll make this push for the next term. That's what I mean by we'll know in future years whether it's successful or not. But there is of course a rising sentiment, and it's become accentuated now that the Queen is gone and Charles is here, and there's almost an inevitability about the question of how many countries will stay.
Well, I mean, I can't predict who's going to go and who's going to stay. All I can say is that give our new king some time and, you know, he will prove his worth. He really will. I think he will be a remarkable king. And whether, you know, Commonwealth countries wish to go off on their own, you know, this is 2023, you know, times have changed and perhaps it will happen. All I can say is that for us here in Britain, we have a remarkable monarch and a remarkable queen, and looking forward to see, you know, how they serve the country in years to come.
Really interesting to talk to you, Fiona. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.